Hello, Generation 1 Transformer fans. This is Sparkster1701, and today we're going to be talking about Roadbuster, the animated character from the Riding Beans OVA and the Gunsmith Cats manga. Nah, April Fools, we're going to talk about the Transformer named Roadbuster. Sorry I'm a day late with the April Fool's joke, but one's got to make their own fun anymore. This here is Roadbuster. He appeared in the toy line in 1985 and was also available in 1986. He was discontinued in 1987. He discontinued in 87. Roadbuster and his compatriot Whirl were both deluxe Autobots that were released in 85 to help fill out the line. Roadbuster here served as a ground assault commander, and we really didn't get anybody else to replace him in the entire line. Roadbuster also shares with his buddy Whirl the fact that they were both toys licensed from another manufacturer. They were brought out by a subsidiary of Bandai, and Roadbuster's origins point him as the Dorvac Mugen Caliber. Roadbuster here is a pretty impressive looking robot. As you can see just by his size, he does scream he is tough. And as you can see, he also has 3 guns. His articulation, though, is somewhat impressive, as he can rotate his arms most of the way around due to these wheel covers on the back, so he's kind of limited in shoulder articulation, and he is limited in leg articulation as well, so that's more or less it. So in reality, Roadbuster is something of a brick, but at least he looks tough, so that should give him some points. Transforming Roadbuster is a bit of a challenge because he is somewhat delicate and fragile, so handle any samples of him you get with delicate care. The first thing we got to do is we've got to take a lot of accessories off of him, starting with his guns. Remove the handles from his backpack unit, as well as the backpack unit itself. Fits in several pieces, so just be patient with him as you try to take him apart. You also need to remove the wheel covers. Yeah, this is in pretty tight. There we go, it's coming. And also don't forget to get the wheel covers off of his front wheels. Now, to transform Roadbuster, first thing you gotta do is collapse his feet into one solid piece and get him straight down. Get his arms up here out of the way. Next, you want to separate the legs right here at the hip. Stretch them out so you can see the metal bar. Then you've got to slide them down this tract here so that the metal clamps into this black plastic. Like that. And then next, we'll lift up the chest to cover his head, bring the arms down, and fold them onto his chest. Once again, being rather careful with him. Roadbuster is pretty delicate. Make sure you get it all the way down on this metal shaft so that they will go in totally underneath. Then collapse his legs inward and swing them forward underneath. And then secure them by bringing the front bumper down over the top. The next, and here's a real delicate part. You take the trunk lid and you want to gently raise it in the front and also slide it backward while trying not to undo all of your delicate work. Now, the reason you got to be delicate with this is that many of the older versions, like this one is, tend to snag right here on the steering wheel. And if it snags the steering wheel, it will rip it right off. And then you raise the windshield up. And lastly, get the seat to raise up and fold back in. Then, of course, you get this gun and just plug it into one of the notches. And that, my friends, is his alternate mode, which is described as an off-road vehicle. Some claim it's a Jeep, some claim it's a four-wheel drive vehicle. Kind of hard to say what it is, but it does look pretty impressively tough. It has plastic wheels, so that's something of a disappointment, but they are big and sturdy, so they should roll over most carpets pretty easily. He does look like he's got something like smoke canisters here on the one side, and some sort of strange looking gun on this side, so even in vehicle mode, Roadbuster looks pretty tough. And for added play value, he looks like he has a tow cable or a winch of some sort on the front, but unfortunately it's all just molded on there, so can't play with it or anything. Use your imagination, kids. Let's take a look at Roadbuster's instructions, and his instructions were done in the new style for 1985, which meant they were pretty much printed in black and white, using red to identify him as an Autobot, and lists him down here as Heroic Autobot Roadbuster. Here you can see all of his pieces that he came with, and we'll get to those here once we're finished. It is just as many as it's showing there. That's how he would have been packaged in the box, and this would have finished making him in his attack mode. And now we go through the part of transforming him. It really isn't as complicated as his instructions make him out to be, but they would get better at that as the line would go on. Think about all the 2 6-changers that were done late in the line. And here we are on the back side. Shows the inserting of a lot of these accessories to complete the robot mode. And now we get to his stickers, and he had quite a few for a toy of his size. And they went on just about everything. And then lastly, on this last page, we have the instructions for the rub sign that was new in 1985. Also an advert for the robot points to collect for mail-away offers, and how to use the tech spec decoder on his tech specs. Now, let's take a quick look here at all of Roadbuster's pieces as soon as the camera lets go of the tripod. And as I pan it across the table here, you can see that Roadbuster does have quite a few pieces. This is what makes getting a complete Roadbuster on the secondary market a challenge, because he has quite a few, and many of them are very small. First one we're going to start off with is the gun for his Jeep mode. This is his linear blaster gun. And this thing is also famous for having a rifle scope mounted on the side of it here. And as you can see, that scope is extremely tiny. This piece is one of the hardest to find in the entire Generation 1 line, and there it just went somewhere onto the floor by my foot. Get that up there. Roadbuster also has a missile launcher, or as it's also known as a shrapnel missile launcher. This is mounted on one of his wheel covers. We'll show you that here in a little bit. The shrapnel missile launcher launches a missile that looks like this. As you can see, it is very tiny. Roadbuster came with 5 of these. You don't believe me? Look right there. 5. Those are also very hard to find on the secondary market. Next, we have his laser rifle, which, for all of you other fans out there, this is what many fans refer to as his M16 rifle. Same rifle used by the manga character Goggle 13. See? That's an M16 he's holding there, folks. And that looked very much like this gun. Roadbuster also comes with a pair of handles. He's got 2 of them. This one's the one for his right side. And he has an opposite one for the left side. Also has this, an antenna piece. This antenna is also very difficult to find on loose samples, so if you don't have one for your Roadbuster, expect to pay a fair amount of money for it. And this is his power pack plugged into his back. It's pretty plain, as you can see. And there's prongs that it uses to connect into his back. And then there's also his control pack. This is what connects to his power pack. Sides here is where those handles clip into, and this hole up here is where the antenna goes. Roadbuster also has 2 small wheel covers, one to go on the right and one to go on the left. They connect behind the wheel onto the axle using these plastic prongs. So when you get one, make sure to check to see if those prongs have been damaged. And he also has 2 for the big wheels that go on his shoulders. This is the one that goes on his left. You want to make sure it also has those prongs that are in there. And this is the one for his right shoulder. Up here is where the rocket launcher connects to. It slides into those tabs up here, and here's the grooves that allow it to attach to his shoulders. So make sure when you buy a loose Roadbuster that you're getting all the pieces, because he's got more than what anybody would believe, and many of them are very difficult to find on the market. At this point, I would normally review the tech specs for the toy, but I've got a bigger treat for you, viewers and fans. We actually have the box that Roadbuster came in. Right here to the side, so you can all get a good look at it here. This is the Roadbuster box. Bring it up close here. You can see this is the box art. Makes it look like he is pretty tough and impressive. And it lists him over here as Autobot Ground Assault Commander. The box had the Transformer logo in red and the Autobot insignia so that you would know he was an Autobot. On the top here you have simplified version of his instructions. Very simplified if you ask me. On the side of the box here, they just should basically show the toy in robot and vehicle mode. Same thing is done here on the other side. And on the bottom, done this bright red, and kind of lists all of his pieces, including right there, 5 missiles. And then we turn it around to the back side, and we get some impressive box art here, featuring all the toys that were featuring most of the toys that were released in 1985. Predominantly, you see a lot of Insecticons and Dinobots, but also it's got Jetfire and Shockwave. His buddy Whirl, Roadbuster's buddy Whirl, is hiding down here, and strangely, we have a red version of Trax. Right down here at the bottom is the tech spec, and it was on the back of the box, as you can clearly see. It has him listed as an Autobot, and the picture here is the exact same as the one on the front of the box. It lists his name as Roadbuster and his function as Ground Assault Commander. His motto is, "War is a dirty business, and I'm as dirty as they come." Likes to pass the time, quote, "demolishing Decepticons," unquote. Not happy if not fighting. Bores easily, quietest of Autobots when not in battle. Charismatic in combat, inspiring to fellow warriors. Natural leader. Can traverse most terrains as four-wheel drive 600-mile range. Carries turret-mounted linear blaster gun. Can blow a hole in 2-foot thick concrete. As robot has laser rifle and shrapnel missile launcher. So you get the impression here that Roadbuster loves to be in a battle. So one would wonder, what would he do when the Autobot-Decepticon conflict comes to an end? Is he going to become a mercenary or sit around and mope and wish that he had died in battle? Now once I pick up the decoder, we'll go over his tech specs here on the side of the box. Just place this over and get a look at how he stacks up. Shows here that his strength is at 8 and his intelligence at 7. His speed is at a 5. His endurance is up at 9, a rank of 8, courage of 10, firepower of 6, and skill of 7. So it kind of looks like that even though he carries all sorts of guns, his firepower leaves a little more to be desired. But he does make up for it by having pretty impressive courage and is somewhat skilled at his job being a commander. Guess you can't have it all. Well, my friends, this concludes my review of Roadbuster, the Autobot Ground Assault Commander. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope that if you are looking to buy a Roadbuster for your collection, I hope that you found this video informative. Please be sure to mash that subscribe button down below and leave a comment. This is Sparkster1701 saying catch y'all later.